Hey guys, in this video you will be able to see how a campervan looks like in New Zealand and the tools that you can use, the devices, the stoves and all the stuff, how do you operate them in clarity by the actual person over there that will actually explain how everything works so that you have no questions when you reach there. The vehicle that we are taking is an Iveco vehicle. I think it's an Australian truck, and they modify it into a campervan. That's what they typically do. And the company that we are using is Star RV, which is part of Jucy.
They're just gonna run inside and grab something. So
okay, sure.
You can have a look around if you like while they're inside.
No problem.
Have you done much camping before?
No, first time.
Oh yeah, that's exciting. It's easy peasy. I mean, it'll probably seem like a lot while I'm talking about it, but honestly, it's easy.
I think the driving all this is pretty much usual, right? It's just standard. It's just that the functions inside, how to turn on, how to turn off, and
Yeah, it's not difficult at all. And also these ones, so we've got two different kinds of Novas. This is an Iveco, and then we've also got them in Mercedes as well.
Are we getting the Mercedes one?
No, you're getting the Iveco, so it'll be exactly the same as this one.
I see.
But they're way easier to drive than the Mercedes ones. So yeah, a lot nicer. And then these ones are a little bit newer than the Mercedes ones.
I see.
They both released around the same time, but there's like a couple months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Is that where I have heater?
Yeah. So there's like a heater on the top, and then you've got a little space heater as well.
Even on our side, you can.
Oh yeah, you've got a gas heater. Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
So here.
What's that on the top?
All good. So on the outside here, did you guys want a show through? Yeah. Okay. Good. So just down the bottom here is your grey water. So this is wastewater from your shower and your sink. To empty this one, it's got a hose, and the hose looks just the same as this cap here. So you just come out, put the hose on, pull these two pins back to seal it. Seal it like that, and then just turn this on the side so it's horizontal, and that will release out your grey water through the hose.
Okay.
You want to put that into a grey water dumping station, and you'll find them at campgrounds, public toilets, petrol stations, all over the place. Just here is a power plug. This is where you plug in when you want to go to a powered campsite, and the cord for that is in the back of the car. Just here is your gas exhaust, and this can get quite hot, so just when you're parked up, don't have anything leaning up against it.
Okay.
In here you've got your back storage, and it will use keys that look like this to open with the circular head on top. Yeah. And yeah, in here you've got all of your cords and hoses, as well as tables and chairs and things that you've got there. So yeah, this one here is your power cord. The one in the black bag will be your grey water hose, which is the one that plugs down just over there. And then you'll also have either a bright green or bright blue freshwater hose that has just a little connector on the end of it. Otherwise, as you can see, all your tables and chairs and things are in there.
Oh, okay.
Good. And you guys, your snow chains will already be in the back on
Here.
the other side as well.
Okay.
Good. I'll just pull you around the other side. So yeah, you can see the other side of this tunnel storage, and that bright green one there is your freshwater hose, which plugs in just here, and that uses a key that looks like this with the sort of square head on it to open up. You have got a full tank of fresh water right now, and you don't need to worry about refilling that when coming back.
So what's the capacity of that?
It says on your info sheet, I believe it's like 160 litres for the bigger ones, I think, but it says on that sheet that I gave you. Alright, just here is your LPG gas. Got that one there. You've got two big gas bottles just in there, and these are both full right now. If you've got full insurance, then you won't need to refill them when you come back, but if not, otherwise you just take it to a petrol station and they'll refill them for you. Kiwi Gas is a good petrol station that does it all the time, but otherwise you can take it to like Bunnings or just put it into Google and it will tell you the closest place.
So they will do it themselves, or we need to like
Oh,
put it?
they'll come in, they'll remove it, fill it up, and put it all back for
Ah,
you.
okay, okay,
Good.
good.
How do we know the level?
You can pick it up and feel when it's getting a little bit low, but there's not really a thing to tell you how full it is, unfortunately.
So the only way is after you open the gas stove, no gas coming
yeah,
out.
but if you pick it up, you can feel how heavy
It's
it
very
is. If
light.
you shake it, you can feel the gas inside.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Good. Just here is your toilet cassette. Sorry? I couldn't tell you. It would depend on how much you're using it. So that'll do things like heat up your water, your stove, the heater in the car. It'll do lots of things. So yeah, just depending on how much you're using it. I would say like maybe every 10 days or so, but if you're using it a lot, then it will be less than that.
那边也是有那
What for
个
the shower? Is it cold shower?
I know it's hot. It heats up with gas.
啊，
Okay, that's
这个叫 wood meter。
So just here, you've got your toilet cassette. So this is wastewater from your toilet, obviously. So to empty this, just lift up the blue tab at the bottom and pull. Pull out this bit on the side, unscrew it, and you want to tip that out into a black water dumping station. And you'll find them at campgrounds, petrol stations, public toilets, all over the place as well. Out here you have 12-volt plugs, so like USBs and cigarette lighters for charging your phone. And inside of this one here is a normal wall plug. Your wall plugs will only work when you're plugged in at a powered campsite, just because of the voltage of them. So these ones will work off the battery, but these ones will only work when you're plugged in.
got it.
Alrighty. You guys wanna put it?
Later you show us as well how to use this, right?
So
Awning.
we don't actually really recommend using them during the winter and the spring,
Oh,
just because
okay.
it gets quite windy and you aren't insured
Yeah.
for them.
Oh, get it.
So I won't show you. I will email through a video, and in that video does tell you how they work. But yeah, no, I won't. Do you guys want to hop inside?
we already
I'll
have
show you-
seen that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions about the
Oh
inside?
yeah, the back bed, how to.
Yeah. So if you want to hop in, I can show you
Okay, sure.
anything that you're not too sure about.
So what about like gas stove? Do we need to plug in on the gas
Yeah.
for that or just?
Yeah. So your gas stove works off of the gas just there.
Yeah.
So you just need to go outside, turn it on the gas bottle, and then yeah, that'll work.
你会要问他的看法。
We don't need to
哦
like plug in.
这个不是我们的。
No, that. Oh,
Sorry, sorry.
That's all good. Alright. If you guys want to come inside, so
看他
you
给
can
不
see
给吧。
before you can wait in there.
Can we walk in? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You just take it apart, and then you place the table from the front down in between these back seats.
就像一间屋子啊。
Like that. And then just like that. Unhook this on the side, just here, and then this pulls across.
Yep.
See where that hole is?
Yes.
And then this table sits down next to it to make up the rest of the bed in the back.
Okay.
Yeah. All good?
Yep.
And then for the one in the front, you just take the table off and then place it down in between the two chairs, and that makes up the rest of that bed there.
Micro versus.
这边也是一张
I know,
啊
double, so
对
it goes across.
这边一张，上面这边一张，后面那边一
Yeah,
张，
so
就
there's
6个
one
人
at
哦
the。top, one in the middle, and then one at the back here, and they're all
Is
like
that
double
just one
side.
for one?
我们就
They're all big.
这2个
they're all
星期
like
就
double
是
side.
这样睡哦。
Otherwise, these are all empty.
We
for
first
storage at the top
go
here.
through one round
You've got
everything.
your shower and sink in the toilet in either of these two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then you
exactly.
don't come up this.
And then just in here is your control panel. So all of the switches are labelled with the batteries. You've got 2 batteries, one for driving and one that runs everything else.
Okay.
That second battery is your domestic battery. It will charge up while you drive. So for every 3 hours you drive, you'll get a night's worth of power.
Okay.
That can last sort of 15 to 20 hours, just depending on how many of these switches are turned on. Otherwise, if you plug in at a powered campsite and leave it charging overnight, you can get up to 2 days worth of power. Again, depending on how many of these switches
So
you're
it
using.
means if we drive like 3 hours, so we can get electricity for 20 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Then the other
Around
battery.
about, sorry?
You mentioned there's 2 batteries, right? The other one?
Yeah, so the one's for driving
Oh,
and the
just
other
for
one
driving.
is, yeah, that's
Okay,
one, yeah.
got it.
Exactly. Otherwise, just in here, you've got like USBs for charging phones and things. This shows your tank level, so you can see your fresh water is full and grey water is empty right now.
Okay.
This one is just a radio. This is the one that controls the speakers in the back. Otherwise, you've got the normal radio that controls the front, and this one here shows your voltage.
Okay.
Awesome.
How do you use heater?
So this heater up the top here just has the remote.
Ah, okay.
That's like a home. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just the same as a normal air conditioner like that. Everything will work off battery aside from your microwave and those wall plugs. And if you guys, sorry, I don't remember if you've got an element. No, so you're all gas.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about that. This will all work with the LPG turned on outside.
Okay.
So when you want to use this, turn on the LPG, then come inside, push it in like that, and then it auto lights just like that. But it's not going to work right now because the LPG is not on.
The water is not running when driving.
No, it's not. So just in here you have got a switch that has got so water pump just here. When you want to use the water, you'll just need to come inside here, turn this one on, and then the water will flow through the taps.
Oh.
Good.
Oh, so I have to turn each individual
Yeah,
ones
that's
on
correct.
when I want to use them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the fridge, I can just leave it on, right?
Yeah, you can just leave the fridge on. So you just come in, switch it on like that,
Ah, okay.
and then you can just leave that on all the time, obviously, to keep your food cold.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Do you have any other questions at all? Well, in that case, you guys are all good to go. Everything is all done with your booking.
Yeah. I tried to open that, but
Oh, no, not that one. This one on the other side over here.
Somebody go there for this.
Right, go in here. And then that just plugs in here. I'm sorry. Just there. Stick it in, and then that is how you plug in for 240 volt.
The blue color cable, right?
Yeah, yes. You might have an orange one, but
Okay.
they both look the same.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
How to on the LPG first?
Sorry?
How to on the...
How to
There's
turn?
a tap on the top, and it has an arrow on it, and it shows you which way is on and off.
That's it?
Yeah, that's great.
how are we going to tap?
So as I said, we don't really recommend using them during
整两个萝莉这样跑啊，看到没有？
它本来就是像一个 van 嘛，就是像这样的。
整辆萝莉了咯。
嗯，所以要两个司机哦，这个。
这个啊，oversize 你看啊，
有它的位置有是给
没有我说这两个 oversize，你看到本身
宽
宽很多了咯，oversize 很多。
才可以放这样多人吗？
understand.
你说10多天才3000，
3000咩？
Down the bottom there, as soon as you put the key in the ignition,
2000
it will automatically fold up. So you don't need to worry about, you don't need to stress too much about driving. I would always double check and make sure.
야, 일단 일단
You can always pull up. So that one there, oh you can, it's just very tightly sealed. So it is a full plug. It won't break.
这个好像是澳洲的牌子这个啊，不是那些
在我们那边
有没
这个有萝莉有
？Australia 的哦，
但是我们那边不 popular，人家怕它。这是好车来的，
哎，
好车来的，好像跟 Mercedes 的什么的。
它有Mercedes 的，但是不懂它怎么给我们这些牌子的，应该给我们 Mercedes 的。
我这个都不错了。
There are some things that she did not share, and I think it's also important for us to know when you're actually taking a camper van. So one of it is that if you are using the stove, there is actually a starter, right, to actually create a spark to to initiate the flame. But if you don't turn on one of the power, which is I think the range hood, then you can't start the spark. Then that was what we encountered, and what happens is that we had to use this matches that they provide in order for us to start the fire. Then for the other one, which is that for this vehicle, I'm not sure is it because of the one that we got was faulty, but the air conditioner has to be connected to a power supply in order to work. I think that one was a little bit funny because we are going to somewhere cold, right? New Zealand is a cold country, and if the air conditioner doesn't work using what she claimed, which is gas, then I'm not sure what's the point of having an air conditioner unit, or at least they should provide us a heater, right? A portable heater, which I think in our subsequent video you will see that we have been depending on a portable heater, and this portable heater is also using the 240 mains power, which means we have to connect to a holiday park powered site every single day just to keep ourselves warm in order to sleep well. Another one is that you might want to check, or at least ask them to test and check for you whether the battery is actually connected in terms of it is being charged when the vehicle is running and when it's on the powered side. There is actually an inverter, I'll call it inverter, or a charger that charges the battery. For our vehicle, a strange reason that we observe is that we drive it for a certain period of time, then after that it stopped working. It just stopped working, or the powers did not work. And then after calling the customer service and finding all the information and just googling, and we find out that actually the battery is under one of the seat. And after opening it up, and then we found out that the switch was not on. So that was kind of funny. I thought they should check this point for us before they hand over the vehicle, but apparently they didn't. And for first timers like us, it was a little bit of an experience, I would say. So make sure you also double check, or at least actually just ask them to open it up and confirm for you that it works. Same thing goes for the rest, the air conditioning and all. Just make sure that they test it for you to turn it on before you go. Otherwise, you'll be disappointed for the entire journey. And regarding power, I think the one that uses the most power is the heater, right? The water heater. So if you want to conserve power while you are driving, actually you should just turn them off, most of the switches. Actually, a number of them you can keep it on. For example, the lights, the fridge, which actually can use the gas as well as electric. It's automatic. Most of the items, or I would say most of the switches, the powers do not consume as much as you think. Probably only the water heater. So if you don't use the water heater, you just keep it off. In fact, most of them we actually keep it on while we are driving, and it's okay. Also, our vehicle is actually connected to solar, so it helps to charge a little bit. But again, make sure you triple check whether the power is on, the charger of the campervan battery is on before you actually leave the place. Regarding the luggage, if you bring luggage, especially those very large size luggage, you probably cannot fit them in the campervan. You probably have to find a place to put them. And what we did was we put it in the shower compartment for the large luggages, because there is no place that we can fit. And if you are coming as a group of 6 and you probably have a lot of luggages, actually there is not much space for you to put. So you need to take note of this. It's in fact better to carry those cabin friendly, meaning those that you can actually do carry on kind of luggages, lots of them, and then you can spread them over the vehicle. There is also the part where you saw that they store the cables and all the pipes there, right? So you can actually put the luggages there if it's small enough to fit. If it's too big, for example those XL luggages, then you probably cannot fit it inside anywhere. Then you have to find somewhere to store it, which is for us in the shower compartment. And then when we want to use the shower, we have to take it out. Another tip is that if you don't want to use the wastewater canister, which is the one that you poop and then you have to pour your pee and poop out. What we did was because we use a lot of the holiday parks, so a lot of our usage of toilets are actually in the holiday parks already. So that's one. Number two is that when you are using the toilet, to poop, there's actually things that you can buy, which is like a black kind of plastic bag that when you poop, you can actually tie it up rather than just put it directly into the waste canister. I think that actually is more hygienic and it's more you can actually just dispose it directly rather than keeping it inside a container, which will smell, obviously. And I think it goes without saying that you should get another driver along with you when you drive the campervan, even though they might charge you for a fee. But I strongly recommend it because when you're doing all the reversing of the vehicles, when you're tired, you definitely need someone to rotate. So a second driver will definitely help you. Interestingly, the vehicle that we use is Iveco, how should I pronounce it right? But I believe it's actually newer than those using the Mercedes Sprint vehicles, even though I would believe that the Mercedes is actually a more reliable vehicle. But in the terms of interior and the driving aspect, I felt that it is actually newer, it's nicer, because I went to view the Mercedes ones as well along the way, and actually the interiors tend to be quite old. So yeah, if you are getting the one that is the latest, newest ones like me, to avoid any hassle, you should just go for the one that gives the maximum specifications, meaning choose the vehicles that they promote that is within 1 year old, and then choose the ones that are biggest or the most expensive ones if you just want to have your trip comfortable. Then if you just don't want to have any hassle, just get for the full insurance, and then they will just cover everything. Mostly they will come with a lot of freebies as well, so I would try not to scrimp on this type of cost, because if anything happens, then the charges will be huge. And I noticed that if you tend to get those insurance coverage, they tend to give you less of a hassle. They won't so-called check as much. They'll just let you go through without being too demanding. If you notice inside the video, they actually also have like a step that actually you can power it up and down. So when it's driving, it should go up, and then when you turn off the engine, it should go down, or at least there's a switch. So in our experience, when you turn it off, it might automatically come down or not, but if you turn it on, then you press the button, it will go back down. Then but sometimes if you're driving, you turn on the engine, it might not go up. So I think you better be careful and double check, because if you start the engine and start driving and the step doesn't go back up, then of course if you hit on something, it's going to break, right? And I'm sure they're going to charge you for it. So just make sure the steps are up before you go. Another interesting thing I observed when I was using the campervan is that even though they said you cannot use the water while you're driving, or you cannot use the gas while you're driving, actually if you leave them on, it still works. Of course, for safety reasons, we don't do that, right? But just between me and you, when you are actually driving the vehicle and then the cylinder, you might forget to turn off that gas cylinder when you're driving, you still can turn on the fire. And then if you keep the cylinder on, the fridge will use the gas to keep cool, so it doesn't use your power. When it doesn't use your power, and if it's using the gas, then your battery will not use up that quickly. So something to take note of. Yep. Finally, I want to end this video by saying that out of my experience of almost 2 weeks of just using the campervan fully, I would say that don't expect too much. Yeah, really, don't expect too much. Even though you're getting the newest ones, there is bound to have problems. What kind of problems you're facing, you hopefully get those smaller ones, smaller issues, rather than those bigger ones. We had one that there is another campervan, somebody else's ones, which they have a problem with their charging port, meaning the one that connects the power to the 240 mains. Imagine you can't connect the power and then you're stuck in a cold night. And if you are in the middle of the country where there's no people that can help you to repair, or you're on a weekend, basically you're going to go for a few nights without power. So yeah, make sure all this works, right? Make sure all this works. And yeah, but just expect problems even if you get the full spec. So I would strongly recommend you to get a SIM card. A local SIM card would really help, so that you can call the customer service. Don't try to scrimp and save on this. What I did was I get a global roaming, but without the calls, just the internet. And I thought I can use WhatsApp and all, but I made that mistake by not being able to call the customer service, and then I had to go through emails just to resolve all the problems that I faced, and it was very lengthy all the way until I drive to Queenstown to actually meet them face to face. Then some of the problems are solved, but I would recommend you to get a SIM card. And again, just don't expect too much. Expect problems to happen and be ready to solve them on your own first. You can raise the issues to them through email or through a call. And here's really a small tip. Now just listen up. If you want to get some incentives from them, make sure you email them. Keep proof of what's wrong so that you actually can know whether you can so-called get some claims from it. Especially if you have insurance, right? You might be able to request for payment or reimbursements back to you, as what we did. I'll do this. I'll share this on the second video, what I went through and how I actually was able to stay in the holiday parks literally for free. All right, check it out. Bye.